Hi, everyone. I'm Tim. I'm a client manager here at Solutions 8. And this is Onkar. He is a strategist also with Solutions 8. And we're getting together today to talk about dedicated landing pages and what that could mean for your business, for your clients, when to use it, pros and cons, how to find out if it's actually working. So to kick things off, I guess, what is the difference between a dedicated landing page and a normal landing page? And a normal landing page is just a page that anyone lands on at any time, whereas a dedicated landing page is a page that you specifically designate as the destination for an ad. And so, yeah, Onkar, let's begin chatting about that. So, what should be included, in an effective landing page? Like, what do you want to see on there? What makes them really, really work?
Hmm. So I think before going to that, I think Tim, we should discuss about what is the difference between dedicated landing pages and your website. I guess let's start from that maybe. Uh, so like for most of lead gen accounts and for SaaS companies, it's really important to use dedicated landing pages because with dedicated landing pages you can put any messaging on the landing pages, right? And then there you can put any videos, any images which may affect your if you are putting those headlines, descriptions, or let's say any ad copy onto your normal website, it might affect your ranking and all that stuff. And you can't do A/B test, right? Because again, if you are changing your content regularly on your website, it will mess up your SEO ranking, right? And Google will index, let's say if Google bots index your website weekly, then it will get new signals every week, and then it might affect your ranking. It might affect your flow, visitor flow. So that's why we use a dedicated landing page, and in there with that dedicated landing page we can do a lot of stuff. I think we can go in depth in further points, but I think that's the difference between a website or service page and a dedicated landing page for that service or for that product.
Okay, so you're saying a big difference is the frequency of changing the information,
Hmm.
control of the information we're displaying versus what might be on the site for SEO purposes. Is this something we want to make sort of more to the point, just get all the good stuff on this dedicated landing pages that's just gonna specifically be designed to convert and maybe not designed as much to
Hmm.
provide that in-depth education to the prospect?
Yes. Yep. And as Tim, you do SEO and all that stuff. So I think you can understand with SEO, you have to write longer content. You have to put all the right keywords that you want to rank on all that stuff, right? But with landing pages for any marketing channel, there you have to use minimum content, right? And I don't think people who are searching for a plumber, or let's say who are searching for a roofer, emergency roofer, they will not go and read that long content, right? They need direct points, USPs. They want to know when this guy started working, how much experience they have, what are the reviews, and then they will just simply call or for fill the form. But yeah, with SEO, the direction is different, right. The objective is different for service page and website, because there they put a lot of content, a lot of images and all that stuff, and it slows the site because of that content, text, HTML files, JPG files, and all that stuff. So, yep, that's that. And maybe you can share about uh, what we actually do in SEO, and then uh, what should we avoid on the website. Let's say, for example, if we are not using any landing pages, right? We don't want to use it, and we want to use website for SEO and for landing page, for our marketing as well. So maybe if you can share some ideas people can execute to also do the SEO and also use it for marketing. I think that will be great because we have lots of client, and where we ask like, hey, can we create a landing page, like, and they just say no, like we can't do that.
Right.
So maybe there, if you can give like your 2 cents on that, I think it will be really helpful for someone.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to do in both of these cases is make it user oriented, whether it's from a search marketing perspective or a paid marketing perspective. It's about the user, and it's about providing value for the user. With the dedicated ads landing page, it's meant to be more concise and contain certain strategic elements. Those elements are expanded on more generally in the search engine version, where you will want to include your authority, some social proof, of course, the keyword density, all of those factors, internal links. Whereas a main difference there would be a dedicated landing page for paid ads might not be as concerned with internal links. In fact, they would go against that, as that's a distraction. With a dedicated landing page, you want to get that user, that visitor, to take an action immediately. You want to sell them on that action. You want to get them to take that action. You don't want to distract them. Whereas in a search focused landing page, you're going to want to link to internal services, other pages. There's going to be a lot more distraction that weighs down the ability to convert. And so I think for paid ads, a dedicated landing page is a great idea. But if you're just running with the one and you just have a search focused landing page, you don't want superfluous information in there, because that will bog down the user experience as well. So as long as you stay focused on the user and you touch on the core elements we're going to chat about right away here, that should be included in dedicated landing page. If you stick to those core elements, you're going to provide a good user experience. You're going to clearly display your offering. You're going to have a call to action, and you're going to explain your value. So they're fundamentally very similar, but I think as long as you're focusing on the user and you're being more concise and less distraction focused in a dedicated landing page, you're going to see some success. So yeah. So what should we be seeing, Onkar, in your view? What elements should a successful dedicated landing page contain?
Yeah, so I guess there are like lots of like landing page structures or layouts you can try, but I think there are like few common points which every landing page structure or layout should follow, right? So I guess the first one will be like headline, right? Because I've seen a lot of like service pages or web pages, websites, which just starts with a single line, which is the service name, and then they start a paragraph, right? That doesn't work out with paid search users, right? Because again, like they want uh, information that is easy to grasp, and they're not there to get knowledge, right? They are not there to research, right? They are there to like do an action, right? So for that, we have to like be concise, and we have to give more information with less content, right? Put as much as possible to educate that person with less content, right? That should be the mindset when you are creating a website, a service page, or a landing page for ads, right? I guess the second will be uh, background image, right? If you want to use it, you can. But then I think images actually help, because that displays what you do or what service you provide, right? So that's a good point, good addition to have on your landing pages or on your web pages. Then we should have a description where you can put pointers, or you can write a 2-3 lines description about that service. Then fourth can be a phone number, right? It's really important to have a phone number on your site if you are in service-based industry, or if you are into an emergency service like plumber, like electricians, or maybe roofers and all that stuff. Uh, and it should be placed strategically above the navigation bar, or it should be above the fold, right? What people don't do is uh, or actually do is they put the phone number down in, I forgot what, the footer. Yeah, the footer, and the person has to like scroll down with all the like and scroll down through the content and to find the phone number, right? And it's not on the footer as well. Like you have to click on contact, and then there you find the phone number,
Yeah.
right, and email ID. So it's really difficult for that person to like contact you directly. I guess that's fourth, and then fifth can be a lead form. We have so many examples where people again like put forms, lead forms on contact pages, right, or at the bottom of the page, right, and to reach the bottom of the page, the user has to like scroll, right? So if you have lots of content, I don't think person will scroll that much, right? We have seen like people, like the average is people will scroll 50% of your page, and then they will just leave it if they think it's not interesting, or you are not providing like a good service or anything for any reason, right? And then CTAs, uh, and maybe uh, reviews. I guess these are the points that like best practices or main things that should be included in a web page, on a service page, or on a landing page for ads. So yeah, these are the like basic points you should follow. And maybe what we can do is like we can attach a PDF uh, with an example, which is following all these things, and that page is actually converting like at 20% or 30%, has a 30% conversion rate. So that and we are using that same layout for our other clients who deal in turf and all that stuff. So yeah, we can, you guys can repurpose that landing page or layout for your services or for your clients. So yeah, these were the things that you should follow while creating a landing page or maybe a website
Oh, so that's
service
great.
page.
So we've got reviews in there for social proof. You've got not too much information because that can create an obstacle, that creates a barrier.
Hmm.
And you want to remove the whole point of a dedicated landing page is to remove those obstacles and barriers
Yes.
to get someone to take the action, which is to convert and submit that form or make that call. So you want to
Hmm.
have those actions prominently displayed. You want to remove obstructions to those actions, and you want to show that you're legitimate, show what you do, and do
Yeah.
it concisely. So those sound like pretty that sounds like a pretty good summary of the elements you want to include in that page.
Hmm.
And so you touched on earlier that SaaS products, lead gen, this is something specifically tailored to those types of businesses, right? This wouldn't be as effective in an e-commerce environment, right? I mean that.
Yes, you can say that, but with e-commerce, I have seen some clients who are using bridge pages, right? What bridge pages means is it is the page which connects ads to your site. I will say that. So, for example, your audience is uh, an older audience, right? Above 45 or above 50. Uh, for those people, I think content actually matters, right? Because they are used to reading newspapers and like big content, so they actually read. So I think if you have a bridge page, what bridge page actually means is like there you put the content, like a lot of content which explains your product and what is your USPs and how that product will help you. For example, let's say air purifier, right? Now, on the site, on Shopify web pages or product pages, you don't have much space, or you can't put a content like 10 things that an air purifier sorry, or 10 benefits that air purifier gives you, right? Or else you can't put that on your product page, right?
Right.
Because you have to stick with the product description. So I think there bridge pages work. So on bridge page you can talk about those 10 points, and then below you can put a product image where people can click and they then go to the product page and convert. So you can do that for e-commerce, but generally like landing pages and all that stuff that we usually use for lead gen and SaaS companies,
Right.
where you have like a service or a product, like a single product, right? Because with e-commerce you can't create like bridge pages for thousands of products, right? So
Right.
that's really like subjective. But for lead generation clients, like they have max 5 to 6 services, so you can create 5 to 6 landing pages for like services. And then for SaaS you have, let's say, 1 or 2 products, then you can create
I see.
LPs for like 2 3 products. Yeah.
So, the structure we're describing is more suitable to lead gen SaaS products, whereas
Hmm.
and a bridge page might be suitable for e-commerce with a smaller amount of products. But if there's a lot amount of products, those products themselves should be similar in structure to a dedicated landing page. Anyways, they've got a clear call to action. They've
Yep.
got reviews, which are the social proof. They clearly display the product.
Hmm.
They in effect act as a dedicated landing page. So yeah, so
Yes.
keeping to lead gen and to SaaS products, the structure we're describing is really suitable for those
Hmm.
types of service businesses and SaaS businesses. So I guess the last thing is, how do you know if it's working? Like, how do we know, if we're setting up a dedicated landing page versus a service page,
Hmm.
how do we know that that's actually going to work?
Yep, I think that's a really good question, right? Uh, People usually look at conversion rates, I think, to see if the website is working or landing page is working. But I think that's a wrong metrics to look at, or maybe you should look at that in a later stage. When you are comparing, or when you are just started with your landing page, I guess the main things you can look at is uh, metrics that actually matter, right? So I think first, if you are like using landing pages, or if you are like heavy into like optimization A/B test, you should use a software which tracks user behavior on your site. So in Solutions 8 we use Clarity, which is a free software. There you can look at mouse clicks, you can look at scroll depth, you can look at heat maps and all that stuff. So I think that's really important to uh, to analyze if our landing page is working or not, because there you can look at how much people are scrolling, like how much people are reading, what are the main points they are reading at, right? Then uh, look at heat maps, right? Where people are spending the most time, right? Then look at where people are just skipping the content, right? If people are skipping the content, that means people don't want that information, right? So you can remove it from your site, or from the landing page, right? Then maybe look at bounce rate. Then look at form abandonment rate, right? People usually look at conversion rate, but I think that's secondary. These are primary things you should like look at to say that, hey, this form, or sorry, this landing page is really good or it's bad, right? Or this website is really good, or service page is really good or bad, right? So you can do these things for a landing page or for your website, right? So I think these are the points you can see, or you can track these metrics. uh yeah. I can think of anything else other than that. Yep, I think that's everything.
Yeah, that pretty much covers it, I think. So we've got, what a
Hmm.
dedicated landing page is, how it could be beneficial for the user and thus, for the business using it. What elements we should have on there, and of course we'll link to that PDF that shows a good example of a concise landing page with all of those call to actions and social proof elements,
Hmm.
and what use cases it's appropriate, and then of course, yeah, how to track if it's working. Right on. Okay,
Yeah.
Onkar. Yeah, thanks a lot for jumping in here and getting in deep with this. So appreciate it.
Yep, no problem. uh I guess we should like finish this on like a note. Maybe so I guess whenever you are testing anything, or using landing pages, or if you are sending traffic to the website, always do A/B test, always track the metrics that I talked about,
Great point.
because that what matters, right? From that data, you will understand why people are not converting, right? Let's say if you don't look at these metrics, like you don't look at heat maps, you don't look at let's say scroll depth, you will never understand what's happening in the back end. You will just look at conversion rates and will cry, like I'm not getting any conversions. But you have to like look at these numbers to see like why I'm not getting conversions, and based on that metrics, work on those metrics, improve that landing page, and then you will see your conversion rates increasing, or simply your revenue increasing. So I guess that's the crux of everything, like why we should use landing page and what you should do after creating a landing page.
Right. Make sure you're looking at that data, not just guessing. Absolutely.
Yes, not just guessing. And a lot of clients do that. Like they just look at their conversion rates and revenue numbers. They don't look at what user is doing and why the user is not converting. Right? Even though your product is best in the world, but still, if you are not able to like portray that on your website, it's it's nothing. Uh, and uh, like I think our job as a marketer is just to drive like right traffic on your site, right? The 50% job is of the website to convert people, right? So if we are doing our job right and your website is not doing its job right, I don't think like it will help us like in getting you, generating you more revenue or more conversions, right? So yeah, that's that was a note for like clients who just bash like marketing agencies or like specialists for low conversion rates, or let's say for low revenue. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and you made a good point there too about conversion rates and not being necessarily misled by them or putting too much stock into them. Looking at those deeper
Mhm.
metrics like scroll depth and things like that, because that can also, even if you're getting really good conversion rates, that can improve them even further. So
Yes.
so that really is the underlying area of importance to focus on, not just the top line number there, but what's going on behind that number, how can it be improved, and really learning
Yep.
from that. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to actually like think about, for example, let's say you are driving 100K customers or users a day on your site, then a small percentage change in conversion rate can affect a lot, right? Uh, for example, from 2% conversion rate, if it goes to like 2.1, then you increase your conversions from like 2,000 people to like 2,100,
Yeah.
right? And those 100 people, that will increase your revenues and all that stuff, and you can invest more in your Google Ads or in any other channels. So yeah,
Yeah, that
I
moves the
guess
needle.
yep.
Perfect.
Hmm.
Right on. Well, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. So, yeah, let us know if you guys are using landing pages, dedicated landing pages, and how that's been for you. Okay, thanks a lot,
Yep.
Onkar. All right, we'll chat soon.
Yeah. From
So if we had a client that was just using a website, forms, going into the back end of WordPress or something like that, they don't get a ton of leads, would you recommend that they tell them to get into HubSpot or something like that for the first time?
Yeah, HubSpot is the most expensive, but it works the absolute best, in my opinion. Salesforce